some slipping in terms of gritty play.
Yep.
Coaches sometimes see that in the games before they see the results of it. Have you started to see it slipping in times?
Yeah, I think as a coach, a big part of our job is coaching and assessing your team not based on the score or the wins and losses, both ways. We've been fortunate to win a few games along the way here, but I also have to watch the team and how we're playing. Obviously, last night, Bob's a huge part of that win. And they don't get it, the players. They don't see it coming because they play, they win, and they go. And they're not really assessing. They got their 2 points, which is important. We don't expect them to bang their heads against the wall, but we have to, as coaches, assess our team. And yeah, I think there's a number of things in our game that has slipped. I thought we grabbed a hold of ourselves in the checking department last night in the third period. Struggled a little bit with our 6-on-5 play, where they ended up with 2 or 3 chances there. But I thought we checked much better. So hopefully we can bring that into this game here.
Is it really hard to get the message across short of getting a wake-up call also?
Yeah, and that's a coach is trying to stop that, not wait to that point to where you get spanked. And that's our job. That's a big part of our job is how your team is playing no matter what the result is. And it's also the other way, where you may be losing games, but you let your team, you know what, we're doing the right things here. Maybe there's so many different ways to lose and win in this league. You got to be really careful about how you approach your team.
Sedlak's line, you complimented them after the game. Can they lead you out of something like that? An energy line or a checking line?
I thought that line, and I thought Doobie's line had a couple of really good shifts there that got us back in. We had a hell of a time with their speed last night. They were the better team through most of that game, and they were one-touching pucks. I thought our neutral zone in the middle of the ice, we left that open quite a bit. We really struggled with their speed. But then I thought as towards the end of the second period, especially in the third period, I thought we played much better. And Doobie's and Sedlak's line was probably our most consistent line throughout that game. And that's good news, but good news and bad news. We have a couple of lines that's supposed to be doing a little bit more work than Sedlak's line that didn't last night. So hopefully we can get that going tonight.
You got lifts, for lack of a better term, at different times, whether it was a shorthanded goal or hard to get in that fight or whatever it was. You got lifts from different moments, it seemed, as that game.
Yeah, or a big save from Bob. We had a number of lifts from Bob as far as the saves he made. I think the past couple of games, Bob hasn't had much work. I think we've played really well in front of him. Last night we needed him because that could have gotten ugly pretty quickly there if Bob didn't make the saves that he made. And that's part of his job too. He needs to be ready for that type of situation to keep us alive. It happens every night in the National Hockey League. Yeah, so there were momentum swings. There were key moments in a negative way, key moments in a positive way. I think going bang bang, getting that 3-1 lead after a few saves by Bob, a couple of fluky goals. We capitalized there. We were very opportunistic with our chances, but we finished. Zed's is a huge goal. A kid he's had chances. He looks a little nervous in the offensive zone. You could see when he scored the goal what he did. He's looking up. I'm not sure what he's saying or what he's thinking, but you could see just a little bit of relief. That's a huge goal for us to get a 2-goal lead in a game that we weren't playing that well in.
What do you like about the way your team has played early on this season? What do you attribute the wins to?
I attribute. And back off the wins. The wins is the final destination we are trying to get to. But I think it starts way back here in where we have really tried to concentrate on the day at hand. We don't look ahead. We're trying not to look back. Although I brought back a couple of things in the locker room last night that I felt I needed to, as far as some of the ways we played before that crept into our game last night. So we're just trying to be in the moment. And just trying to focus on being the best pro you can be in that moment. It's a really young team, especially on our back end, so we're trying not to give them too much and just worry about what's happening now. And I think they've really handled themselves well that way. I think we have kept a little bit of a flat line here when we've had some success. We haven't gotten too tall, and we have no right to get tall. I think they've just come to work each and every day in trying to get better. I think that's given us a little consistency here in the first 25, 26 games.
Same question.
No, Nick's out. Yeah.
Do you put much stock in the plus minus? Should a player
No.
be concerned if he's
No.
really low? Or
No, there are so many variables with that I put stock into players' offensive play and defensive play by watching them play, not the number. There's a lot of different things going on with that plus minus, and so no, I don't put much stock into it at all.
We can assume Bob's
Bob's playing tonight.
You didn't have any power plays last night. The Islanders didn't take any penalties in their previous game. How can you turn that into your favor? Maybe force some power play penalties.
I don't even think of it. I really don't even. I'm just thinking about trying to play the right way, and we don't talk about how we try to get power plays. There are too many other things to worry about in the game. We're just going to try to play the right way and see how the game's called.
what is, going back to the plus minus, what has Jack done, do you think, that has allowed him to be among the leaders of the league?
Is he?
Yeah, he topped 15.
Is he?
Last
Yeah.
night.
Well, I don't look at numbers for Jack, especially Jack.
Right.
Jack is probably one of the most competitive guys I've coached. Probably one of the most selfless guys that I've coached. Just a great teammate. Remember, this is a guy I sat in the World Cup, and it just killed me. But I won't even tell you what he said to me during that time, but just how he is a first-class guy, a tremendous pro, a guy we talked about does not get much power play time, has had a lot of things go on around him personally the past couple of years, and he just sticks in there. He is a competitive son of a bitch, and that's really good, especially that back end, the youth of our back end, for them to see. That's something Z needs to watch, because I think that's one of the weak spots of Z's game, is just the competitiveness in certain situations defensively. He's sitting next to a guy that's one of the best, and so he quietly goes about his business, and he is a glue guy for our back end.
This is your 7th back-to-back. None of the previous 6, and tonight has the team that you're playing played the night before.
Yeah.
You probably know this. Have you used that as any sort of us against the world sort of
No.
thing in the room?
No, you guys make the big deal about the back-to-backs. We're a young team. We have really pushed and concentrated on getting this team as much rest as we can. But to give you, because we know that we have 19 of them, 19 back-to-backs. I think it's the most in the league, and we know there's a number of them that teams are just waiting for us. And but can that be an excuse? No. It's another game. I do believe with back-to-backs, I think sometimes it helps you because I think our meetings will be short. We're not going to give them much information because, as I've always said, we give them way too much information. We're not going to tonight. We're just going to go out and play. And I think your second win kicks in. I think it's easy to get involved in a game when you come in and you play another game. And instead of sit, practice, meetings, tape, another meeting, we're just going to go play.
When Oliver was here the first time at the beginning of the season, when he left here, what did you guys want him to focus on down there to get better? What did you
We just wanted more. We wanted more life. We just wanted more juice out of him. You can see last night the puck follows him around. He makes some great plays last night. I think I play him 13-plus minutes. Has been inconsistent there, has begun to find his game a little bit from the reports that have been given to me. It's disappointing to me that he didn't make this team coming out of camp. I really thought he was ready to make that step. Showed us he wasn't. He's got to work at his complete game. Struggled a little bit in a couple of reads as far as losing a third man high, gave up a couple odd man rushes where he dives in, where he just needs to stay out of there. Those are things we can coach, but we just want more juice out of him as far as his competing. I don't know how to explain it.
And that's something that you really can't do. That's in the player.
Yeah, that's within him. Yeah. I'm not sure what went on during the summer. It was kind of a weird summer for him. He played a long American League season. I don't think that should be an excuse. We got a 19-year-old kid that had the same season, that came out of college, went to all the things going on, and he stepped in here. He had to play in that for his country, Denmark, to try to play in, I'm not sure what you call it, for the Olympics and stuff like that. We wanted to get him here for the summer, but because he had to do some other things for his country, we left him. I think this year, and I think where you make your gains sometimes with conditioning and strength is in the summertime. We need him here, and hopefully he'll have a clear summer. He'll get some time off no matter where he ends up with us, the American League team, whatever, when the hockey season's over. We need him here because I think he's going to be a huge piece to the puzzle here. I thought it was going to happen now when camp broke. It hasn't, but it was a barometer reading for me last night just to see how he's doing. I thought he gave us some good minutes. But there's some hiccups too, but we expect that out of a kid. Offense is going to be a big thing for him. He's going to be a huge part of this organization.
Torts, you mentioned World Cup. Did you learn anything about Jack Capuano during that tournament that maybe you didn't know going in?
I didn't know Cappy before the tournament. When Dean and I were talking, Dean, Homer, myself, Berkey, I wanted to go at a young staff. I was given opportunities when I was young to get opportunities to be in the international stuff. Jack had never been given an opportunity. Dean knew him. A lot of people did a lot of homework on him and just raved about his how he prepares. Holy shit, does he prepare? Yes. We didn't win. We didn't win. Obviously, we didn't win a game, which would kind of suck. But that staff, I learned so much from that staff, and being one of the older guys, I hate to say I was the older guy there, to have a youth group like that with Cappy and Howie and Johnny Hines, it was a blast for me. And your coach, he's one intelligent coach. I try to impress upon him, sometimes you can't give the team all the information that you have because he has a ton of information. And I think that's important. At least that's the way I feel about it. You can have all the information, but how much gets to the player? I think that's got to be the coach's call. But I had a ball with him, and we had head coaches there. And the thing I loved about him and the other guys, there was no tug of war as far as the ego, and because they run their own teams and now they're there. We got along, so we had a blast, and I have a true respect for him as I watched him. That's the neatest thing for me, was to watch him work, and I learned a ton from him. So I know there was a lot of chatter out there along the way here, and he's a really good coach, and you're in good hands there, and he's a good man.
Torts, I've heard you say a million times about this year about overcoaching and stuff like that, and you can't give a guy too much.
I was that guy at a point in time.
Well,
I was Cappy at that point in time.
Yeah.
Dotting every I, crossing every T, pound your chest when you get out of the meeting. I gave them all the information. Yeah. But then they're paralyzed because they have so much.
Okay.
That's what I'm still trying to grow in that area, because you want to be detailed, but you got to be careful. And I've learned the hard way, because I think I've paralyzed players along the way here, where you give them too much, but you feel good about yourself. If a mistake's made in that play, I told you we were supposed to do it that way. Right. You feel good going home, but the guys can't play.
So the players haven't changed. In other words, like in the NFL, a big thing the last couple of years was the older coaches said millennials learn different.
Mm-hmm.
Is it different now than it was?
Yes. Yeah.
The players are different. The younger players are different.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and there's a couple of things. I think the attention span of a hockey player it's very, very short. And quite honestly, I don't blame them, because this is such an instinctive game. It's not football where you have 40 seconds to run a next play and you go through your playbook the night before, all week long. It's not baseball. It's a very instinctive game. And I've made mistakes by taking instincts away from players because I felt good about myself that I gave them all that information. So you got to be really careful. And on the other part of it, I think the athlete is so prepared, so in shape. There's no, like I always talk about, there's no wingnut that was out late the night before a game and he gets in trouble. And, there's none of that. They're so in tune. They're so conditioned. Everything's almost perfect with the athlete right now, where I think you need something wrong to happen in your locker room as you go through the year. And because you need that type of conflict and that type of lightness that may come with it. But not with these guys. God, they're just perfect as far as the conditioning and on time and all that stuff. So yeah.
Well,